it practically today, and we have an innovation that of course will blow your mind away. So we're having Mr. Neil Kelly. He is the CEO of Magezi Innovations right here in the country. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome. I'm also joined by Rita Kanya, but I'm sure you're already seeing this, and the camera person will work on getting this particular shot for you. So just explain to us, what exactly is this?
Well, Magezi Innovations, one of the things that we focus on also is creating innovations for smart houses. Uganda's internet infrastructure has been developing over the years, and now it's currently at a level where we can innovate and provide new and exciting different services for the average Ugandan.
Right.
So one of these are talking computers that uses internet connectivity and that can control different aspects of your house, as well as some of the other projects that we've been working on is a smart mirror, which was too big to bring here.
We saw that.
What does a smart mirror do? Does it tell me I look beautiful?
Actually, a smart mirror is an interactive mirror. Imagine that if you're getting dressed in the morning and you're fumbling around with your phone. Well, you don't need to do that anymore. You could just get in front of your phone, in front of your mirror, and ask the mirror to show you the current weather, to show you your email, to show you your meetings that's coming up.
As you get dressed.
That's
so
right.
We're moving away from just the smartphone. We have the smart mirror.
That's right.
I think I should definitely get myself one.
That's right. That's right.
But today, this is the smart.
This is part of the smart home. This is called a smart speaker. It's actually a cloud computer.
Okay.
It actually talks. Computer, say hello.
Hello.
So it's
The computer say hello.
and let me lift this up so you can actually see it. It integrates into your smart house. Computer, turn off my device.
Oh.
So it integrates into the smart house. It allows you to control everything. Refrigerators. They even now have a smart microwave oven that you can have in your house. You can just put something in there and just cook this, and it will figure out the temperature. It will figure out the amount of time it takes to cook it, and your microwave will heat it up, and it will do it automatically. And you could also. I'm sorry.
You don't have to run around trying to switch off things and trying to make sure the timing for
Not
this
at all.
is set,
Right.
and then
Not
this,
at all. Not at
and
all.
also get dressed as you check on your meetings and all.
That's right.
All in one house.
That's right. And the incredible thing is that this is an interactive learning tool specifically for kids. Computer. Who's the current president of Uganda?
Uganda's president is Yoweri Museveni.
And this is all developed in Uganda.
Yes, this technology, well, first of all, this technology is something that was imported here, but we're developing a smart speaker that does the exact same thing, that will speak in a variety of different local languages. They have an open source project which allows you to build on it and innovate and add to what is already out there. And one of them is a talking speaker. I brought this here just as an example of what's coming.
Okay. All right. So how do we connect this to this? This looks like is it an office desk kind of lamp?
Well, I have this system connected throughout my entire house.
Okay.
All the main lights, the outside lights, everything. I even have a smart doorbell at my grandmother's house in the United States that I can check on. If somebody rings the doorbell, it tells me here.
Whoa.
And she's 95 years old.
Okay,
So.
it's necessary.
Yeah, so a lot of times it will alert me and my brother and my nephew, and I can actually look through the doorbell to see who it is and actually talk to the individuals.
Okay, that should be interesting. Now, speaking of this, when you connect it in your house, is it via Bluetooth? How is it made sure that it's connected?
It's the connectivity is through Wi-Fi, and it connects through the internet service that you have at your house.
Okay, so you have to make sure you're connected to the internet.
That's right.
All right.
right.
Okay. So what's the use of this in connection to the
Well,
smart
I brought
speaker?
this here to show as an example of how you can control external devices, lamps, refrigerators, percolators, whatever,
Right.
to this system. Now, it is connected. You can't really see it. There's a little box that... I'm sorry, my phone's going a little crazy. Let me turn the volume down on this. But
Okay.
there's a little box that actually there's a little box that actually communicates with this guy through the internet, and so you don't even have to be home. You could be anywhere in the world. If you're connected to the internet, you can control your lights, you can control your fridge, you can control your percolator, you can control just about anything that uses electricity in your house. So that adds another layer of security, because let's say, for instance, you're coming in late and you don't want to come into a dark house, you don't want to have the outside lights turned off. This can turn on your lights automatically.
Okay.
It could, or you could even turn them on manually as you're approaching. There's a number of different settings where as you're coming up to your house, it can sense that you're close by,
And then the lights
will
go on.
come on.
Right,
come on
I've seen that, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now, for a number of people who are watching and saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing, oh my gosh, I might need it for my house now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it and it being on the market. Is it on the market yet?
Yes, it is.
Does it cost an arm and a leg for someone to get this? Because you see, we're in a new year, and a number of people were trying to save as much as they can.
Absolutely.
How much would they cost? Because it sounds amazing.
Well, it depends on, of course, it depends on what the individual is. It has to be done by case-by-case basis, because we'd have to do a site assessment and see exactly what they need and exactly what they want. What type of capability are they looking for? Are they looking for to control one room, or are they looking to control multiple rooms? Are they looking to control, the outside of the house, the whole complex? It depends. It depends. But the reality is, it is affordable. It is affordable. That's the important key point to this.
It is affordable.
It is affordable. It's affordable, people.
Okay, so what's the lowest, gadget in terms of price and cost? The range. You can just give us a
The range. For, let's say you want to do just one room and you want to have a smart speaker, right? We could probably do that for about 300K.
Okay.
Yep.
Uganda shillings.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You haven't shown us how this is connected to this and why we have this on the table.
You can't see it, but there's a little box right there with that
Okay.
little light on, and
Right.
that guy is the guy who actually converted. It's you see, it's plugged into an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that extension is being controlled by this, and this is being controlled by that. So in other words, this guy talks to him and tells him to turn it on. When I tell it to turn on my device, it turns it on. When I tell it to turn off my device, it turns it off.
Okay.
That means it needs to be in power supply all the time. If
Well,
let's say you're home
right.
and maybe you have left home,
Right.
you need to be sure the internet is on, the power
Right.
supply is also
That's
on.
right. That's
and
right.
then-
That's
and
right.
In Uganda, and our internet and our
Well, the reality is,
Electricity
even
shortage
if the
is there.
electricity is off, your lights are going to be off anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really not that much of an inconvenience as far as the electricity. If the electricity goes off, then you have no internet connection either. So that's just one of the things that we just have to deal with here.
Okay.
And that's with everything. I mean, that's with everything.
Okay, you are the CEO of Magezi Innovations, and I'm sure that you have young people coming into your hub just to come up with different creations and different innovations. How expensive or how cheap is it to run a hub, such a hub, an innovation hub here in the country, especially now that you have young people who are so hungry to make something out of themselves and they don't have the coin necessarily?
The most important thing that I realized I've been coming to Uganda since 2006, and since 2006 I realized that one of the biggest problems is not so much expense but confidence. I give you an example. A friend of mine, whom I work with. I work in an international school as a design and technology teacher, and I'm also the owner of Amagezi. And it's a secondary school. I want to transfer knowledge. But a friend of mine, we read an article and he showed me a picture of a hybrid car that was built in Uganda. And the first thing that he said was, I can't believe this was built in Uganda. And that is the problem. Because if we don't have confidence, and by the way, people, I'm Black American. Most people think I'm Muzungu, which
Right.
drives me insane. And the reason why that's important is because as people of African descent, myself, and of Africa, it's very important that we have confidence in our abilities. Even in the United States, Black Americans still suffer from the same issues of innovators will not believe they have the capability, have the capacity to be able to innovate and create things that are competitive. And the same problem is here. I see the same thing here with innovators. And the expense here is a lot cheaper than anywhere else.
Okay.
So going to the United States, you have to ask yourself, how come you haven't seen any Fortune 500 companies that are black owned? Partly because of the fact that the expense in getting the venture capital money is almost nearly impossible.
Okay, but if I'm an innovator, I'm a young person, beg your pardon, who wants to come onto your hub to maybe work on my idea or my concept, do I have to pay to come on board?
No. They can contact me. We have a website, amagezitech.com, or they can freely give me a call, and I'll give you the number. It's 0700-460-885.
Okay.
Please don't call right now. Please.
And the website again?
amagezitech.com.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
in regards to the teaching of people and those that are willing, you have dealt with some people from Uganda, right?
All of my entire team members are from Uganda.
What level would you put our creativity as in regards to the people that you have worked with from Uganda?
The creativity level is there. It's there. It's hard to put a level on creativity because there are many different types of creativity. But I've seen some extremely innovative ideas. The problem is that lack of resources is one, and also again we go back to the issue of confidence. You know, like when somebody's innovating something and it just seems completely impossible, the first thing people would say, you can't do it. It's impossible. No, you can't do that. We don't do those things here in Uganda. And those are negative reinforcements that actually will discourage an innovator to stop. But there are many, many examples of those who continued. And I'll quote a famous person once said that history remembers those that follow through with their ideas and forget those who do not.
Okay. Speaking of following through with an idea, so I'm a young person, I've come on board, now I'm sure they'll call you or contact you. It's free to come on board, like you said,
Right.
and you can always have a conversation. But
Right.
once I've come on board, beg your
so
pardon.
sorry.
Once I've come on board, I've put my idea on the table. We've worked on it and we've come up with a great innovation, something that is actually a solution giver and a game changer in the marketplace. What's the next step forward? Do you connect me to the market where my innovation can actually be bought by the masses out there? And do you go a step further to educating them on how to actually run businesses? Because ideally, if you have an innovation, once you want to sell it, that is a business. So do you hold their hands through?
The whole thing is, I don't believe in just selling off your ideas. Yes, in some situations, yes. I believe that it's time that we create companies around products, right? And those companies should be here in Uganda. So what we do is we help nurture the innovators and their ideas and push them forward, so that I will look at some of the business plans. I'll ask them about have they done any market research? Have they looked at any existing products that they could gather ideas from and improve upon? And I help them create a business case. Then once that's done, then I will show them how they can go out and talk to investors to be able to get funding for their projects.
Okay, so it's a whole process. You just
Yes.
don't let them go like that.
That's right.
Okay, all right, Rita.
I think it's official. I might become an innovator soon. I'm still thinking of what idea, but I'm definitely getting there because as I listen, and even with what you've just been saying in regards to just the smart home,
That's right.
it's clearly that you're getting different products for you to be able to have people come in, whether it's just for the lights or it's
That's
just
right.
for the refrigerator.
That's right.
Could be for the cooker.
That's right.
Could even be for the bathroom.
That's
Who knows?
Smart mirror.
Yes.
Smart mirror.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
Smart
yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a
Yeah.
toothbrush.
Yeah, toothbrush. I never thought about that.
See,
But you
I'm
know,
an innovator right now.
that's right. One of the things that I must do is I must give a shout out to my business partner, Mr. Oki Aurora Emmanuel. He's here He's actually watching from the Amagezi office right now.
Okay.
And I'm excited that I'm here. I hope maybe one day I'll become a citizen of Uganda, because I fully believe in Uganda's capability to innovate. I mean, there are many software engineers who, by the way, if they would like to make money from their skills, they can do that through a number of different websites. Guru.com, they can do that through freelancer.com. These are websites where you can actually post your CV, post your skills and some of the examples of the work that you've done, and people from other countries will hire you to actually build a product for them.
Okay, let's look at patenting before we get to how government is actually supporting innovation companies like yours. When it comes to patenting, we know that we have had young innovators come up with great concepts but have never earned from that creativity.
Right.
Someone took the idea and ran with it and sold it off, and maybe now those guys are earning and this young man is still left in poverty.
That's right.
So with regards to patenting, do you look at that as a very important aspect to ensure that these innovators who come to your hub actually benefit and reap benefits from their innovations?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the most important things that in any business is the legal side of it. If you're an innovator, you must learn the legal side of protecting your innovation. Everything from statements of disclosure, everything from patenting, even copywriting, intellectual property like programming and so forth. All of that, trademarking your brand, all of that is very, very, very important.
How affordable is it in the country?
Here, truthfully, I don't know. I have a lawyer that handles all of that.
Okay.
And the reality is that I haven't gotten into a situation yet where we had to go through that with a particular project yet. We're still new.
Okay.
We're still new.
So when you say new, because how long have you been in all of this? That is where we should also start this conversation from.
For me personally, since I was 14, and I'm 56 now.
Okay. Now
Right.
for Amagezi, it said from?
Amagezi. Well, first we started with a company called Afritech Solutions, but that didn't work out. A lot of craziness, right? So I tried to get investors, I tried to get people interested, and that didn't happen. So I had to go back to the U.S., regroup, and then come back again. So we reformed, rebranded, and we are now Amagezi Innovations. Now, Amagezi Innovations, when I say it's new, is because it's a newly registered company. It was registered sometime last year. Right, so we're new.
Okay.
So and some of the things, some of the bridges we haven't crossed yet, but as we cross them and we gain development and experience, that knowledge will be passed on to other individuals that are with us, so that they won't have to go through some of the problems of
and
negotiating
the hassles,
and the hassles. They'll just know the exact proper way of doing it right from the start.
Okay, and I'll bring this question to you before we come to a close. We're running out of time, unfortunately. Last year we saw His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni pledge 4.5 million USD to innovators and to companies like yours. And the question is, now that you're trying to connect this to national development, has this taken effect yet? Have you felt the benefits of this particular pledge?
Everything we've done, and that's not to say that's not available, but everything we've done, I have funded it myself, and we're looking at other possibilities, and that's one of them. But we have not done that yet. We are a Ugandan company. All of my business partners are Ugandan.
Okay.
So we just haven't crossed that road yet.
But it's a space that is actually profitable. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
And doing it here is much cheaper than anywhere else in the country.
Absolutely.
In the world.
In the world. Absolutely.
So
All right.
innovations in Uganda.
That's right.
Okay, your last
right.
remarks, that's camera 2, that's your camera. Just speak to young innovators who are hungry to actually come up with innovations as we come to a close. That's your camera 2.
Never, never, never give up. If you have an idea, and your idea you believe in, right? No matter how much people tell you not to, no matter how much people tell you it's impossible, no matter how much people tell you it can't be done, never, never give up.
Right.
Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have lights, we wouldn't have electricity, we wouldn't have airplanes, because these are all things that people said were impossible. So have confidence in yourself, trust in your abilities, and never give up on your goal.
Never give up.
Never.
Rita, now you can close this.
I'm never going to give up on my goal as an inventor. I will be back tomorrow with my invention at some point at the end of this year. But otherwise, thank you so much, Neil, for coming.
Thank you
through.
so much.
It has
Okay.
been inspiring,
Thank
and
you.
also the fact that in each and every part of whatever you're doing, don't give up. As he has said.
That's right.
Yes, and don't give up on watching Good Morning at NTV, because we'll be back tomorrow, Mala. And I have yourselves a lovely day. And remember, the hashtag is Morning at NTV.
You're watching Morning at NTV.